Hi everyone, so right now we're going to be making some Irish shortbread. It's a really easy cookie to make. I grew up making it with my family and I find it really tasty. So all you need is some all-purpose flour, some sugar, vanilla extract, 1 egg, 1 stick of butter. You need some measuring spoons, measuring cups, some cutters or a knife, and then you can use food coloring if you want. I'm not going to use it today because I've got some fondant and some icing to use after it so we can decorate. Alright, so we need to get started. I'm using a KitchenAid mixer today. You can use a hand mixer or your hands. Believe me, I didn't have this growing up. So, I'm just going to put this in. So first of all, what you need to do is you need to blend or mix the butter. Now the butter needs to become like a soft white or like a softer yellow. Now the butter can be at room temperature. It just makes it a lot easier to mix. Or you can microwave it for about 15 to 30 seconds just to get it a little bit softer. So now that's mixed, you need a half cup of sugar. You can put a little bit more sugar in it if you like your cookies sweeter, but I only do half a cup. And then you just mix that all together. And it starts to look a little bit like cottage cheese. That's when you know it's all mixed in. So next what I do is I just put the KitchenAid on slow and I'm going to start mixing my flour. You need 2 cups of flour. Sometimes you might need to just scrape the bowl down. I use this with a spatula. This is my favorite spatula because it has a pig on the top. I love really cute kitchen utensils. So just starting again. And then we are going to use 1 egg. Now it's actually 1 egg yolk. I don't have a separator. I know that there's these really cool separators that you can get. But I just use my hand and I encourage the white to come away. So it's just the yolk. I pop it in and I am going to wash my hands. And then you just start to mix again. So the mixture is a very dry mixture, just in case you're making this at home and you're starting to be like, Megan, this does not look like a normal cookie mix. It's a very dry cookie mix. So I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. If you really like the taste of vanilla, you can add in another one. But I'm only going to use 1 today. A nice full one. So the mixture is starting to look like nice and dry and crumbly. This is perfect. Don't worry, you will get messy for this. So one thing I did forget to say that I also put in, and I apologize, is milk. It'll just bring the mixture all in together and make it easier for you to roll out and do your shapes or just cut them into line. So I add in about a 1/4 cup, and I'm just going to keep adding a little bit in until it gets like all stuck together. So I ended up adding in a 1/2 cup of milk today. Sometimes I only have to add in a little splash. It just depends on how soft your butter and everything is. So your mixture will start to look like this, and that's what you need. So what I do is I take my KitchenAid utensil out. You'll get sticky for this too. And I just make it into a ball. And then I wrap it in saran wrap and leave it in the fridge for about 15 minutes. Once you take your cookie mix and your dough out of the refrigerator, you're going to want to set your oven to 325. And just let it cook. So what you're going to do is, my secret that my grandma taught me was you always want to flour your surface so the dough doesn't stick. Just mix it in a little bit. And then you're going to flour your rolling pin. Again, you don't want it to stick. You want as many cookies as you can get. So you're just going to roll it out. It will sometimes crack. Don't worry, like mine's cracking right now. I'm going to roll it out until you get a nice thick cookie, about 1 inch. Then you're going to take your fun cookie cutters. So I have a duck, a rabbit, a teapot, a muffin, and a teacup. But I think today I'm going to use the duck. So what you also want to have is a pan that can go into your oven. You can use parchment paper, or you can just put a little bit of oil on it so it doesn't stick to your pan. And then you're going to start cutting your cookie out. Again, if you don't want to make shapes or you don't have cutters, it's totally fine. You can just roll it out and then use a knife and cut it into nice shapes, or you can use just a regular straight line. The classic Irish bread shortbread is either a circle or just a long strip of cookie, but I like to make little shapes. So if I'm doing this without a cutter, I try to cut some hearts and everything in with a knife. And you're going to keep doing this until all your dough is done. I always like to do one shape and then change it over. Like I go through my dough, like right now I'm doing all ducks. And then you can take your dough and just roll it back up. Sometimes you need to redust your surface because again, you don't want it to stick. Now I'm going to use my bunny rabbit. So I've seen people make chocolate chip shortbread and it is so nice. I personally haven't made it in a long time. I'm going to mix this all back up. So once your cookies are done at 30 minutes at 325 in the oven, you want to put them on a cooling rack. If you don't, once your cookies are all done in the oven, you're going to want to put them on a cookie rack. If you don't have a cookie rack, you can just put them on a cool plate. If you leave them on the pans, they'll keep cooking. But here is your shortbread.